Welcome to Name Check. I'm Michael Riedel of the New York Post. Now, if you are of a certain age, as alas I am, no close-ups please, you grew up with one of the greatest sitcoms of all time, Happy Days. And I am very delighted to have with me on Name Check today Scott Baio, who played Tchotchke on that now classic
Chachi.
Chachi, sorry Mike.
This is a tchotchke.
You see, the mind is gone. Chachi, I'm sorry about that, Tchotchke. He is now also the star of a hit new sitcom on Nickelodeon called See, Dad, Run. And I'm delighted that you're with me today. Welcome.
It's good to be with you, Michael.
All right, so how old were you when Happy Days hit?
15 when it hit?
Yeah.
I came on it in the third or fourth year. I was 15 to 23.
15 to 23.
Yeah.
And how did you get the gig?
I did a movie called Bugsy Malone
when
I was a kid.
Yep.
And
full of kids, that movie.
It was a gangster movie with kids, and it's still a great movie. Not because I'm in it. It's a charming movie.
Yeah.
Alan Parker.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
David Putnam.
Yep.
Produced it. Anyway, so that movie was owned by Paramount, and Paramount screened that for all the executives at the studio. And Gary Marshall was one of the executives. And Gary at the time was doing a spin-off of Happy Days called Pinky.
Right.
Pinky Tuscadero.
Yeah.
And he brought me out here to be in that, and that was only a pilot, and it didn't get picked up. And then he was doing another. He did another series after that called Blansky's Beauties with Nancy Walker.
Right. Oh God.
And he put me in that, and that went for a year.
This is all coming back.
And now I'm sorry, sorry. And then that got canceled, and he just put me into Happy Days.
And there you were.
Yeah.
Now you've been in New York for a couple of days, and your old colleague from Happy Days, Henry Winkler, is on Broadway in a play called The Performers, in which he's playing an aging porn star.
Perfect. Because that's who he really is. Nobody knows that about him.
That's true. Yes, the Fonz is now an aging porn star in New York.
I just worked with him on Arrested Development a month or two ago. And I said, I'm like, Henry, stop working. Really,
he can't.
Man.
He can't. Yeah.
He's got 3 series on the air. He does play books. He's a dynamo.
Yeah.
He's a nonstop man.
Yeah. Well, he's been on Broadway quite often, and he came from the theater.
Yes.
Now, you did not, though, right? I mean, a lot of people I know who've made it in TV began as theater actors, but not you. You went straight to do the movies and TV. No,
I did commercials, and not that many because I was not a desirable kid. I wasn't.
What does that mean?
At the time, in the '60s, when I started doing commercials, what I was told was they always wanted the Campbell Soup kid, the Irish-looking blonde hair kid. And I'm very ethnic-looking Italian.
Right.
So I didn't do that many commercials, and then I did this movie Bugsy Malone totally sort of on a almost an accident. I quit the business at the old age of 12, and because I just hated driving into Manhattan from Brooklyn. And seriously, because that was playtime. After school, you go out play with your friends, and I couldn't do it anymore on certain days because I had to go here. And here might as well have been Timbuktu. It was so far away. And my poor mother driving the car, and I'm miserable doing homework and all that. And I quit, and then my manager at the time called, said, "Will he come and read for this movie with Alan Parker?" And I'm fine, whatever. And I went and read for it. And I didn't do school plays.
You didn't do Bye Bye Birdie in high school?
No, I didn't even go to high school. Really, I was making a buck. Damn it, when I was in in high school. But no, theater was not my thing. And people ask me, because I really love to do sitcom. It's what I just love it. And people say, you love to do sitcom. Why wouldn't you like to do a play? And my answer is, I get bored. It's the same thing over and over and over and over. And for me, I have a very short attention span to begin with. If you ask my wife, and she's right. And I have a little bit of ADD, and I don't like to focus on the same thing for that long.
But when you do a sitcom, though, back in those days, you did it for a live audience,
still
right?
Do.
Still do. So it is a bit like doing a little play.
Right. It's like doing a play, but the beauty of it is.
There's more money.
Infinitely more money.
Theater, trust
and
me.
less time.
That's right. And you get a big chunk of time off.
Right. Get a huge chunk of time off. But no, I get to, with a sitcom, you get to play with the audience, and between scenes and during the scene, if you screw up. So that's the part about it I like. That's the part that keeps it fun for me.
Right.
And during the week, I try not to really ever know the dialogue because once I get into the show, then I like to sort of look for it.
Oh, I see.
And that's the game.
Yeah,
for
that
me.
wouldn't work in the theater if you didn't really know the lines.
And I paraphrase a lot, and I change up things a lot. Other actors are going, what is he talking about?
But aren't the writers there thinking, you're messing around with my words?
No, actually they're very cool. But I always keep it. I'd say I give them 70% of what it is that they've
That's
written.
enough because you're the star of the show.
Exactly,
so you can
damn
do
it.
Tell me about your current sitcom, See Dad Run. You play, I guess in it, you play a person who's been in a sitcom, but now it's canceled, and you are home taking care of the kid.
I play a guy who's been on, he's been America's number one dad for 10 years in a sitcom, and the show ends.
Right.
He doesn't get canceled. It's a thing that we have on the show. And he comes home, and his wife, who is a soap opera actress and gave it up to raise the family, decides that she wants to go back to work now, so she leaves him with the children, and he's been coddled and spoiled for a very large part of his life, and now he's got to deal with these young people, and does it
who aren't in awe of him because he's
and don't really exactly right, and he doesn't. The thing I talk about the guy, he's not dumb. He just doesn't know them, and he doesn't know what makes them tick. And now he's got to get in there and not be spoiled, and get that out of his head.
not be a child anymore, but be an adult.
Exactly, and take care of these children. And he doesn't know what their foibles are. He doesn't know how to talk to them because he'd breeze in and breeze out, and the wife would fix it and take care of it. And here's the food and go on. So that's what his job is, and it's him trying to use his dialogue from the show and apply it to.
Oh, I see. So in other words, he has been a pretend dad, and now he has to learn to be a real dad.
Right.
Very clever.
And he was a great dad on television.
He's America's favorite dad.
And everything worked out. And now he's home, and nothing really does work out like anything does.
This being coddled on these shows, does that naturally happen to you guys when you're in these big hit TV series? I mean, the car will pick you up at a certain time, Mr. Baio. And what would you like at the craft table?
Well, look, being what's the lack of a celebrity or whatever in a show, or whatever, it's a very childlike existence because you're basically told what to wear, what to say, where to stand. You throw a tantrum every once in a while. Everybody goes, "Oh, okay, yes, okay," and goes right back into the way it was, and that's how you live that life, And I've been doing it for so long now that for me, I just really go to have fun. I just want to go and have a good time, and I want to go home.
Right.
And that's it. I love the people that I work with, and it's not about star trips for me or anything like that. I don't enjoy celebrating my birthday because that becomes about me, and it gets uncomfortable because it's about me there,
right.
And I don't like it to cross over, but it does. And my wife, I'm a selfish jerk a lot of the time. I can't help it. It's just it's part of who I am, and she slaps me back to reality, figuratively.
You've got to have that. I got to wrap it up here, but I must ask you. I didn't realize this about you. You grew up in Brooklyn. What were you doing at 11 years old, coming to commercials? Were your parents in show business? Were they pushing you in show business?
No.
How did that happen?
When I would two things. When I would come home, my mom would take me and put me in front of the television. And she would do what she had to do, and I'd sit there and watch television. And coincidentally, I had an older cousin who was doing commercials, and he did an episode. He was an actor. He did an episode of the Monkees.
Oh God, yeah.
And I remember, wow, well, isn't that cool?
Yeah. And you actually saw him on TV.
Yeah.
You watched, yeah.
Yeah. And then I would see kids in commercials. Say, hey, Mom, I want to do that. Man, shut up. No, Mom, I really want that shit. I mean, then finally I went and met with my cousin's agents and managers and started going on auditions for commercials and hated it. Hated it to death. But then
here you are.
Got lucky.
And were your parents working class people?
Yes, they were not in the business at all.
At all. Just
my father was an entrepreneurial guy, had a lot of different businesses, and my mother was my mom. And
still alive?
My mother is alive. My father is not.
Well, nice to live to see your success, though.
Oh yes, oh yeah. And my father really, in his way, my father was a old world Italian guy, and did not show emotion all that well, but was proud, and he got to see
Did
it.
you go back to the neighborhood when you're here in New York?
We were here. We were there 2 days ago.
Back to the house?
Back to I rang the bell. They weren't there. I grew up on 80th Street and 10th Avenue, right in Dyker Heights.
Absolutely.
Great neighborhood.
It's always great to go back and ring the bell in your house and say, "Hey, I live here."
Yeah.
And if you're a celebrity, it's even better. I'm sure.
Yeah, come on in, Joey. Want some food? Yeah, come on in.
Get the wine out there. Yeah. Some Scott Baio's here. Right. All right. Well, listen, Scott, it's great talking to you.
Pleasure.
Thanks for being a guest on Name Check, and we'll see you next time on Name Check. I'm Michael Riedel of the New York Post.
Listen, any guy that's a fan of After the Fox.